You look tired out.
And welcome everyone to another week of the Focus TV. While Octavia White, Harry Cardo Dudley Jr., Malik Miller, Wilson Turpin Jr. Got a lot to get to. We got the curtain rising on the NBA season tonight. So we're airing NFC East once again. Interesting to say the least. Giants fans, I'm sorry, but also, haha. Octavia, the floor is yours.
No, I'm sorry, but haha. I'm just happy to be happy this week at this point because the last couple of weeks have been tough. They've been a little tough. But everybody in NFC East is not happy. So we will get directly into that. So we'll go ahead and start with the Philadelphia Eagles, who played against the Minnesota Vikings this week. They defeated the Vikings 34-17. I don't think that's right. I don't think I updated my thing. Anyways, Jalen Hurts was 19 of 23, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 carries for negative 10 yards. Saquon Barkley had 18 carries for 44 yards and 1 reception for negative 1 yards. But Devontae Smith did have 9 receptions for 183 yards and 1 touchdown. And A.J. Brown had 4 receptions for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. And on the Vikings side, Carson Wentz was 26 and 42, 313 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 4 carries for 28 yards. Jordan Mason had 15 carries, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Jordan Addison had 9 receptions, 128 yards, and 1 touchdown. Yeah, and I take that back. He didn't have 1 touchdown. Jordan Addison, he had 9 receptions, 128 yards, because they only scored 1 touchdown in this game, even though they were in the red zone for a good portion of this game. Positive note for the Philadelphia Eagles right now, just for the fact that the defense has been kind of struggling. Being able to keep them out of the end zone for majority of the game. I think they had like 5 field goals and was able to score 1 touchdown with Jordan Mason. I saw a meme that I thought was hilarious that a lot of people said Carson Wentz still plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. We appreciate it, all your hard work. But yeah, the real story of the game, of course, is everything that everybody's been talking about all year, which is the offense. Jalen Hurts delivered a near perfect game. I mean, you can call it perfect with a perfect quarterback rating of 158.3 passer rating. Only the 3rd time in franchise history that an Eagles quarterback has achieved that. Definitely really, really good. I think a lot of people kind of go back and forth, or I don't know, argue for whatever reason on his deep ball. His deep ball is one of the best in the games. He definitely was 5 for 5. He was 5 for 5 on passes over 20 plus air yards for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. Definitely got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith involved in the passing game this week. A.J. Brown with 2 touchdowns, and a pivotal catch to close out the game for them to be able to solve the game away at the end of the 4th quarter. And Devontae Smith with his best receiving production, I believe, of his career. It's the highest one of the season so far with the 9 receptions for 183 yards, which surpassed last week George Pickens with 163. So all in all, it was a great showing for them. In that aspect, there are still plenty of things that they need to clean up. Although they won the game, and although Jalen Hurts perfect passer rating, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith played well, they still were outgained by yardage by the other team. They just had more explosive plays in this game. So there's still a lot that they need to work on. Saquon Barkley still has not hit his form. He still has not had a 100-yard rushing game so far this season. So there's still a lot that they have to do. Go back to the drawing board. The offensive line is still banged up. Cam Jurgens had to come out, which is the center, and they had to move Toth over, which it was okay for the most part. But the offensive line is taking their turn of having injuries, whether it's Cam Jurgens, it's been Landon Dickerson, it's been Lane Johnson. The only one who's really kind of stayed in there has been Tyler Steen and Jordan Mailata. But yeah, it wasn't that great. So like I said, the Eagles gave up 387 of total yards. Jalen Hunt's returned an interception for a 72-yard touchdown, giving the Eagles a 14-13 lead early in the second quarter. And he made plenty of crucial, stops. The defense held the Vikings to just 1 for 6 in the red zone, forcing 5 field goals. Zach Bond led with 10 tackles. Jalen Carter, Josh Usyk contributed multiple quarterback hits and tackles for losses. But again, like I said, the Eagles still struggled on third down, going 3 for 10. Again, they just had a lot of explosive plays that helped them out. So it's a win is a win. We're going to take it, especially off of the last 2 weeks that we've had. But there's still some concerning things they have to get taken care of. Like I said, Saquon Barkley, he only had 44 yards on 18 carries. He averaged 2.4 yards per carry. It's just not going to cut it that way. Some interesting news. I know some people have mixed reviews. I think us as Philadelphia Eagles fans I'm hoping they're tempered in this, but I know sometimes people are out of control when they think of stuff. Brandon Graham has officially come out of retirement. We know Za'Darius Smith retired last week. They're missing a lot of edge rushers. Nolan Smith is out. They got the rookie Jahad Campbell playing on the edge. Now we know BG is older. He's long in the tooth. I don't expect him to be a major contributor in that aspect. But he's just going to come in for crucial downs. And I just think having that locker room presence can also help them as well. So we're hopeful going forward. Hopefully this week we're on a revenge tour as they'll be playing against the New York Giants that they lost to last 2 weeks ago. So that will hopefully be a different result. Next, we're going to go to the inter-division game. We have the Commanders play the Cowboys this week. The Cowboys defeated the Commanders 44-22. On the Commander side, Jaden Daniels was 12 of 22, 156 yards, 1 touchdown, 8 carries for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. As you can see from this picture, he did get injured in this game. So in came Marcus Mariota, who was 4 of 10, 63 yards, 0 touchdowns and 1 interception, and 2 carries for 34 yards. Lil Bill, 13 carries, 33 yards, 1 reception for -1 yards. And Chris Rodriguez Jr. had 3 carries, 12 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Zach Ertz, 3 receptions, 37 yards for 1 touchdown. On the Cowboys side, Dak Prescott was 21 of 30, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 carries for 7 yards. Javonte Williams, 19 carries, 116 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 reception for 2 yards. CeeDee Lamb, returning from his high ankle sprain, had 5 receptions, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. And Jake Ferguson had 7 receptions, 29 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Washington started, pretty okay. They started off briefly leading 8-7, but that went away fairly quickly. Jaden Daniels threw for, again, 156 yards and a touchdown. He rushed for 35 yards and another score. But he was sacked and fumbled early in the third quarter. He injured his hamstring, and he exited the game and did not return. In came Marcus Mariota, who then right after that threw an interception and just set the Cowboys up to continue to pour it on. It's worth noting that the Commanders did not have Deebo Samuels, who has a heel issue. Noah Brown still has not played the entire year, and Terry McLaurin is still having, I believe, hamstring issues. So they were throwing to people that I talked to Commanders fans that they didn't even know who these people were. Chris Moore, of course, they have Luke McCaffrey, and Reliable and Zach Ertz, who of course is kind of Jaden Daniels' safety blanket. He did score the touchdown in the game, but the offense was just so much more overpowered. So I believe both of these teams are struggling on defense. We know that. But the Cowboys offense was just that much more prolific than the Commanders offense was this past game. And they just ended up being too much. And their defense decided to step it up a little bit for them this week. After weeks of a lot of criticism, of course, Matt Eberflus, you can tell that they went back into the lab. I believe they said that Brian Schottenheimer, he sat in on a lot of defensive meetings this week, just to try to really realign them and get them back on track. Their defense had 4 sacks, a fumble recovery, and a pick stick by Deron Blaine, who returned an interception for 68 yards for a touchdown. The defense also forced 2 turnovers and held Washington scoreless in the fourth quarter. Again, the Commanders were without Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and still no Noah Brown. And linebackers for the Commanders, Shamar James and Kenneth Murray Jr. led the charge with 9 tackles each and combined for 2 sacks. And I mean, I think this has been a pretty much of a trend for the Cowboys this year. They were 75% in the red zone, so their red zone efficiency was pretty high. They're getting in the end zone. Now, if they don't get in the end zone, if they cross midfield, Brandon Aubrey and his leg is going up as well. He is undoubtedly the best kicker in the league. There's no contest in that aspect. And that's even with, like I said, their defense stepped up some. Trayvon Diggs did not play, who had a freak accident where something fell in his house and he had a concussion. So he wasn't even out there. Outside of course, he's coming off of the injury from last year. As far as Jayden Daniels and his injury, I believe they did an MRI. I think they said it's more serious than they thought, but it's not as terrible as it could have been. So I believe right now he's still day-to-day, week-to-week. I would be surprised if he plays in the next game, especially with these hamstrings that are going around. We know, for example, Lamar Jackson has been out for 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. They're coming off of a bye, and he didn't even practice today or yesterday, whichever day it was. So his availability is still up in question, and it's been about 3 weeks. You think they're similar as far as running? Similar, I know what Lamar Jackson is, but we know what Jayden Daniels can be. So it's going to be very interesting for both of these teams going forward. It does not get any easier for the Commanders. Unfortunately for them, they're going to play Monday night against the Chiefs, who are finally hitting their stride. And you know they love primetime games. So they're going to play against the Chiefs, and the Cowboys are going to have a good test as well. They're going to be playing against the Broncos this week. Looks like the Broncos is just coming to just sweep the entire NFC East and get everybody up out of there because it's looking like that so far. I'm sure we'll get into that. Well, let's get into it now because that's the next game anyway. So next, the Denver Broncos played against the New York Giants this week, and they defeated the Giants 33-32. Jackson Dart was 15 of 33, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 crucial interception, 5 carries for 11 yards. Cam Scatterbo, 16 carries, 60 yards, 3 receptions for 34 yards, and 1 touchdown. Wan'Dale Robinson had 6 receptions for 95 yards. Daniel Bellinger, 3 receptions, 88 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Theo Johnson was in the right place at the right time with 3 receptions, 66 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the Broncos side, Bo Nix was 27 of 50, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 carries for 48 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins had 14 carries for 81 yards, 1 reception for -1 yards. Cortland Sutton had 6 receptions for 87 yards. Troy Franklin, 3 receptions, 19 yards, and 1 touchdown. And R.J. Harvey, 4 carries, 0 yards, but 1 reception for 2 yards and 1 touchdown. This was literally one of the craziest games anybody has probably ever seen, at least up there. I know this game was on at the same time the Commanders and the Cowboys game was. So I had the game on my laptop while I had the game on my TV, and I was watching. I was like, dang, the Giants is beating up on the Broncos. So I was like, all right, I'm going to just turn this off. It is what it is. I can see what happened. Luckily for me, I do have NFL Red Zone. So as, some commercials, I would flip back and forth. And then I was like, what's going on over there in Denver? And things it happened so fast. The Giants, you can say, dominated the first 3 quarters, building a 19-0 lead thanks to a 44-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Dart to tight end Daniel Bellinger, a 13-yard touchdown catch by Cam Scatterbo, as well as a 31-yard rushing touchdown by Tyrone Tracy Jr. And the Broncos just looked like they were out of it. The defense held Denver scoreless for 3 quarters, and the offense looks pretty much like they was going to cruise to the win. But it looks like at some point in the fourth quarter they took their foot off the gas. They got comfortable. I don't know why. These are the New York Giants. They need to be pushing it to the limit as much as they possibly can for the entire time that they're playing. Their defense just imploded. They allowed the Broncos to score 33 points in the fourth quarter, which is unheard of. The most ever by a team shutout in the first 3 quarters of a game. The defense for the Giants had missed tackles, blown coverages, especially by Drew Phillips and Deonte Banks. Again, the crucial interception that dart through under 6 minutes, setting up a Denver touchdown. They had a lot of defensive penalties, including pass interference, offsides calls, which extended Denver's drives at critical moments. After Denver took a 30-26 lead, Jackson Dart did show a little bit of moxie, took them down, and they scored after they did get a 38-yard pass interference and an unsportsmanlike conduct flag on Broncos coach Sean Payton, who was furious. I think anybody watching the game didn't think that was a pass interference if you were not a Giants fan. And that led to Jackson Dart with a 1-yard rushing touchdown to give them the lead again. However, with all of the great kicking that we are having in the league this year, the Giants are not a part of it. Their kicker, Jude McAtney, missed his second extra point of the game, which then at that point meant that the Denver Broncos only needed to score a field goal to win the game and not tie the game. And whoever decided to drop 8 and rush 3, I don't know what happened. I don't know why that was a part of the game plan. And Bo Nix threw a dot to Cortland Sutton, set them up for a field goal, and that's all she wrote. Crazy. The loss dropped the Giants to 2-5 on the season. They're 0-4 on the road. Will Lutz hit the 39-yard game-winning field goal as time expired, and the Giants were just dumbfounded to see Daboll reaction on the sideline. The memes, I follow NFL memes. They're always saying something funny. They literally had a picture of Jackson Dart saying, "Oh, so this is what it feels like to be a New York Giant." It was devastating for them. They're definitely going to have to hopefully bounce back to hopefully go against a team that really wants to beat them this week in the Philadelphia Eagles. Like I said, they'll be heading to the link to play the Philadelphia Eagles this Sunday. Coming off of a game like that, it's pretty demoralizing, especially when, they could have had 2 back-to-back very good wins, over a Philadelphia Eagles team. They beat the Chargers earlier this year, and then I believe the Broncos are leading the AFC West. That would have been another great thing. And they're doing all of this without Malik Nabers, who of course is also injured for the year. But unfortunately for them, they were unable to complete that. And they'll play against the Philadelphia Eagles next week. And I'm sure something else crazy will happen.
Hey, man, Cardell, I'm grateful for your Broncos for that, because for a little while there, I thought maybe the Giants thought they were good and they wouldn't need to.
Yeah, they started smelling themselves a little bit.
Now that they again, send me Kayvon Thibodeaux.
Well, how were you during the game? Were you watching? Like, I felt like
I was at Penn Station in New York, about to come home. I was in New York, and they had this big ass 80-inch screen at Penn Station at the subway with a food court, and that's when we was down 13-0. And then I just remember it was at a distance. I just got there and I saw our running back go up the middle. He got Goldberg speared back across. And I was like, oh, shit. And I just heard everybody cheering in New York. I'm like, oh, man. So I walked closer to watch, and it looked like it was over 19-0. So I had to catch my train back home. I got something to eat. And I was like, man, this is crazy. And I got hit this on Tuesday, man. I know she waiting. And then I'm on the train, and Wi-Fi go in and out on the train, but I'm working, so I'm not really paying. I'm thinking the game more. I'm thinking we took the L. And I get home, I look on Twitter, and it's like Broncos win. Like, what? What the fuck? What? I was like, hell no. I had to do a bunch of digging and like, what, how, what, when, why, and he better be glad he's not like a long tenured coach. He be about it, like that's one of them Jones.
What's also so crazy too is that this was the game where they were putting Demaryius Thomas in the Hall of Fame. They scored 33 points, which is the age that he passed away at 33. They scored 2 touchdowns where they did a 2-point conversion, so they scored 8 and 8, which was his jersey number.
Yeah, so that definitely something else was cooking up in that, because you're not supposed to come back in the fourth quarter from 19-0. That's the game supposed to be over. Even if you get close, they can run out the clock because they got the lead and do all that BS and stuff like that. But that's where the Giants organization is now. So.
And I did fail to mention that they did release their kicker today.
Yeah, just took away one of the rapid fire questions, but that's all good.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, but nah. Yeah, if he make them extra points, it's tough, man. But geez, man, defense don't matter, huh? It's amazing how it don't matter when you don't have it, dog.
I will say I have you guys on my fantasy, so I appreciate that.
That wasn't a good. Hey, man, we beat y'all. No Eagles. Don't let that go. Let the Eagles fans leave us alone.
And I mean, I got Cortland Sutton too, so I'll be like dibbling dabbling in which I'll be doing a little tiny bit.
I get you, Patrick. There's some store bets over there.
Yeah.
All right, Cardell, to the first George Washington segment of the year, which means with that being the first segment of college basketball right here. So, floor is yours.
Yeah, man. And a highly anticipated exhibition matchup between two local programs that hadn't faced each other in 44 years. It lived up to expectations. It was a very, very intense game. Georgetown, they weathered a spirited start from GW before pulling away late in the second half to earn a 73-64 win. It was billed as the DC matchup. The game carried added intrigue a little bit as GW center Rafael Castro, who's preseason first team All A-10, I believe. He faced off against his former coach at Providence, which is now Georgetown head coach Ed Cooley. Castro had a decent, well-rounded performance, finishing with 12.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks, and 2 steals. Redshirt sophomore guard Christian Jones added a team high 13 points to 6-9 shooting, while transfer wing Boo Boo Benjamin contributed 11 points for GW. Georgetown, get used to hearing his name a lot. Junior floor general Malik Mack. He dictated the tempo, after GW's 9-6 start. Finished with 16 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals on the efficient 5 of 8 from the field. But Georgetown, they were in spurts carried by Caleb Williams, sophomore out of Sidwell, France, he was blistering hot all game. He finished with a game high 20 points on 8 of 11 shooting, including 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. He also grabbed 6 rebounds. The difference in the game for me was Georgetown poise and execution down the stretch, as well as their physicality, throughout the game, and their size. That ultimately proved to be the difference. I felt like they got a lot of second chance points. They got a lot of offensive rebounds. Their length and physicality and athleticism really bothered GW. Like another guard in the backcourt with Mac, KJ Lewis. He's just one of them long, active 6'4" defensive guards, man. Like he had fingertips on every pass they were trying to make. And it's just like, damn, dog, they can't get nothing going. You know what I'm saying? They can't really get a rhythm going because he's deflecting everything and throwing the timing off everything when guys, that split second when guys are open and stuff like that. Meanwhile, he didn't shoot well from the perimeter, but he was going getting into the line and finishing it inside, man. So, yeah, dog. And I felt like Malik Mack really controlled the game when Georgetown got in front. He knew when to slow it down. He knew when to speed it up. He knew who to get shots to. Just being the floor general. You know what I mean? I think, he had a monster year as a freshman, but also, as a sophomore, he was cool. But I think, he had to get used to the Big East expectations, the physicality, and guys being bigger, more athletic and stuff like that. I think that took took a little time. But at the end of the year, he started getting back his stride. And I think he's carried that momentum throughout the summer into now, man. So, you could just see the confidence with him. The big question mark was like, what type of leap was Caleb Williams making, man? If this is the leap from what I saw on Saturday, they're gonna be a problem. On the perimeter, man. They just need their posts. They need the front court to just kind of stay solid and give them some help. And if they do, Georgetown can surprise some people, man, because if Saturday's an indication, they got about 3 players that can go off at any time and be a difference maker, man. And in college, sometimes that's all you need, especially if you got a good defensive unit. With the junk defenses, you go teams down. But if you got shot makers, we already know. We talk about every NCAA tournament, guard play, and Georgetown. Based on what I saw on Saturday, got some quality guard play. I know Mack can bump. KJ Lewis came from Arizona. I know he could play. Caleb got a year under his belt. It's just a matter of how consistent he's going to be. Normally, in college, from your freshman year to your sophomore year, you take the biggest leap because now you know what to expect. You're hungry. You're trying to make up for the ups and downs. you know how to be more consistent. So, yeah, they bring it up. If they bring it consistently, yeah, Georgetown can possibly be a problem, this season, especially in the Big East play. And for more analysis, I got deeper, man. Just visit GW Recap. You can go to our Roku, Amazon, Fire TV, check it out on our Focus channel, or just go to the article on findersmag.com and hear what I had to say right after the game about, a little bit more detail about what happened.
Sure. Make sure you guys don't miss all the times we're going live during this season, both with GW, Maryland Women's, and whatnot after games. Looking forward to speaking with you all. And obviously, like Cardell said, catch the recaps as well. I'll fill in for Ray with the Wizards. They wrapped preseason action up last Thursday. They wrapped it up against the Detroit Super Physical Pistons. Detroit won that game 119-98. We saw their dynamic duo of Kate Cunningham and Jalen Duren lead the way. Keyshawn George led Washington with 20. We saw CJ McCollum was really steady for Washington in the preseason, which shouldn't be a shock. A vet should be a vet in preseason. I think it's what anybody would expect. Had an injury scare with Bub Carrington in that one early in the game. Went up to, I think, try to deflect the pass in transition. Hurt his knee. It seems like he's not going to be out in a significant amount of time. That is a knee sprain, so grateful for that. We know the curtain opens up for Washington tomorrow night. We crazy behind Giannis in Milwaukee. So they got a dose of physicality in the preseason, which was a good thing with Toronto. And then Detroit, as we see here, you're taking on the poster child for physicality and Giannis in Milwaukee. We'll see what that looks like. After that, I think 2 days later, it's a Friday. They'll be in Dallas. That's where, the number one pick in this year's draft resides in Cooper Flagg, AD. No Kyrie, obviously, early in the season, but they got 2 road games, and then their home opener is Sunday, where they host the Charlotte Hornets at home at the newly renovated Capital One Arena. So we'll be seeing you guys several more times this week as far as Wizards Outlook goes. And just like Cardell said, get over to the channel so you guys can catch, Cardell and Ray. Myself took time to break down the preseason games. I'm looking forward to breaking down the regular season action as we're officially, officially the 82. The 82 game journey started tonight for the league for Washington. Milwaukee starts tomorrow evening. So, Carter, where do you want to start with? Take it or leave it?
Take it or leave it, man. We're going to start over there. Yeah, speaking of my Broncos, man, Denver Broncos coach Sean Payton was hoping to face former quarterback Russell Wilson when his team played the New York Giants this past Sunday. Payton got rookie Jackson Dart instead. That caught Wilson's attention. Quote, classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media, Wilson wrote on X, aka Twitter, followed by some laughing emojis and the hashtag Let's Ride, a catchphrase he used at the end of his news conferences while a member of the Broncos from 2022 to 2023. Wilson was just responding to comments made by Payton after Sunday's game, which the Broncos won 33-32 with the obviously thrilling fourth quarter comeback. Quote, Payton said, I have a ton of respect for the Giants organization. I spent 4 of my early years there coordinating Super Bowl. First game in the stadium before 9/11, close with the Murrah and Tisch family. They found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mara not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game. So much messiness going on in sports, man. Malik, man, we going you ain't had a chance to really talk, man. What's your thoughts on the messiness, man? Why can't he just take the W and keep it moving?
Yeah, Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, they go back to when they were together on the same team. Russell Wilson got benched because, in my opinion, he wasn't losing enough games. They needed him to lose enough games. He wasn't doing the things they needed him to do. So, a lot of behind the scenes issues that Sean Payton and Russell Wilson have. So Sean Payton just letting everybody know ahead and in front of real time, and that's still there. That energy is still there. He's running with everybody. He loves everybody but Russell Wilson train. So just when you're running on that, yeah, I gotta leave it. I mean, Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I like the Seahawks. So I'm not gonna say it's him. I'm gonna say it's the coaches. And I don't think he's lost it, But so I gotta leave that. I can't take that. Jackson Dart is nice. He's a nice guy, and the development of him will have what it would come if he started now. If it waited to week 6, week 8, so who's to say they threw him out just on time? Who's to say they threw him out too early? Only time will tell. But Russell Wilson is definitely a great leader. He's definitely a great mentor, and he's definitely a great ball player.
All right, man. I'll tell you, you're taking and leaving it. The pettiness between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson.
So this is really hard for me because I'm very petty, just as my own individual self. But this one is getting out of control. Like, it's crazy to me that they have this much animosity in 1 year of being together. Like, y'all were together for 1 year, one season. It seems like who's going to troll the longest and the loudest at this point. But I agree with you, Carter. I wish you would have just took the W and kept it pushing, especially as a coach. Like, and I don't know if we'll get into other coaches who have said some crazy things in the last couple of press conferences recently. But you're a coach, like, come on, and you're a Hall of Fame coach. Russell Wilson is arguably a Hall of Fame quarterback. I know some people have arguments both ways. Like, let's be adults and just move on at this point. I don't even know. Like, Russell hasn't played for the Giants in like 3-4 weeks at this point, it seems like. So I don't understand the reason why it needed to be brought up. But so I'm gonna leave it in that aspect because I think in a professional setting we don't need to be that petty. Maybe to your homeboys and your friends behind you, okay, but it's starting to get a little bit much. So hopefully this is the end of it. They're not going to have to play each other, however you want to say, their teams or their franchises, whatever. So I'm gonna leave it on that aspect, like on the professional side, because yeah, I don't. It's not necessary.
Wilson.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. Like, Sean Payton, worry about your team and continuing to win and advancing what you have going on. Continue to help develop Bo Nix. Whatever happened there with you and Russ, like, bro, he's on the Giants. It has nothing to do with, like, it doesn't matter. And also that conversation, I was cool with just never knowing that you and John Mara spoke. Like, am I shocked by the discussion? No. I'm mad that I have to hear about it. Like, I'm sure that this is what you guys were saying. Also, it's kind of crazy. Like, I don't think Jackson Dart's the hill we need to die on to say something bad about Russell Wilson. Like, that's an interesting choice. Like, clearly you don't like him. That's cool. I don't think Jackson Dart has done nearly enough for you to be like, let me hold Jackson Dart up is the reason I'm a bad mouth. Russell Wilson. Like, relax. Let's just relax. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, even as a Broncos fan, I'm going to leave it. It was just unnecessary. Had a thrilling comeback win. You weren't on the field. You was a quarter away from having to answer some really tough questions. Being honest, yeah, we winning, but we winning by some very slim margins right now. We winning, so they could easily be the opposite way. And then Russell Wilson is the least of our worries. But man, whatever happened, y'all need to lead. He need to lead in the pass. I hate coward stuff where you sneak this behind the scenes. I'm more of I'd rather do it man to man. I don't even like talking trash over social media when people come because that's coward stuff. Like, I want to really check your temperature in person. So if it need to escalate to a situation, we could just do this like man. And I know Sean Payton ain't in no type of physical shape to rumble with Russell Wilson. So it's weak stuff. It's coward stuff to me. And again, it's a lot the Broncos need to clean up before things catch up. And this good start becomes a distant memory. You see what I'm saying? So, for instance, we had a top-notch defense and the Giants made it look like one of the worst defenses in the NFL. And our offense been up and down all season. Like, it's down. It's either very, very down or be very, very hot, like what you saw in the fourth quarter. There's no consistency. So it's a lot of things that need to be dealt with in-house before you even just throwing shade at that, man, because that's just that's just weak, man. Because I feel like you was in public, you wouldn't say that if it was just y'all two by yourselves. And come on, man, it's just enough is enough, man. Move on. Especially on that day, what was going on with Demaryius Thomas? That wasn't even that it was totally unnecessary, man. It's too many Broncos legend in the building. Showing love, showing they paying respects to Demarius Thomas. It was a lot going on, especially with that big win, where that just wasn't warranted, man. It was just a sneak diss, and what did it do? Like, what you got props or something? You know what I'm saying? So you barely beat Jackson Dart. So we got to relax, man. All right, we're going to move on. More petty from the NFL. Dang, man. It seems like the season just started. It's just like, sheesh. The winless New York Jets are planning a quarterback change. Supposed to tell ESPN, with owner Woody Johnson weighing in Tuesday with stinging criticism on incumbent Justin Fields. Johnson said the decision is completely up to Aaron Glenn, who is moving toward naming Tyrod Taylor the new starter. But Johnson left little doubt about his view on the matter. He praised Glenn for turning around parts of the team, but added, it's hard when you have a quarterback with the rating that he's got. I mean, he has ability, but something just is not jiving. You have to play consistently at that position, and that's what we're trying to do for the remainder of the season. Johnson, speaking to reporters at NFL Fall Meeting in New York, said improvements on defense and special teams provide hope for a turnaround. Then he delivered this line: if we can just complete a pass, it will look good. The Jets gave Fields a 2-year, $40 million contract, including $30 million in guarantees. The plan was to give him a full season to see if he could be that long-term answer. After the wholesale start, the Jets apparently have seen enough. Glenn, who benched Fields at halftime Sunday, is expected to announce his decision Wednesday. The Jets face the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. Quote, the offense just not clicking, and you can't run the ball if you can't pass the ball, Johnson said. That's football 101. At 6 starts, Fields has posted a career low 32.1 total QBR, ranking 31st out of 33 qualified passers. Octavia, your thoughts on the petty, man?
So I feel like since I left the last petty, I gotta leave this petty too. Where is the media training? What is happening with these people? Like, what is going on? And I'm convinced that anytime you go play for the Jets, you just suck. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. We know Justin Fields has been struggling for majority, if not all, of his career so far, his young career at that. But I ain't seen him look this bad. Like, I haven't seen him look this bad. Like, he looked serviceable when he was in Pittsburgh last year. I mean, that was the reason why the Jets went out there and signed him, because he looked serviceable. And it's like now he gets to the Jets and he just forgot how to play football. I feel like that Jets curse thing is a real thing, but it's petty. Like, he's already being torn down in so many different ways. I get it. At the end of the day, if you're not producing, you went away. I get it. But he's already been torn down. It's like to sit there. So like, I mean, if we could at least complete a pass, then I'm like, all right. Like, but now I don't follow the Jets that closely because it's the Jets. Let's be real. But who else is he throwing the ball to besides Garrett Wilson? Like, it ain't like y'all got that much on offense anyway. I can't remember which running back it is that's hurt as well. So it's like it's bad over there though. Like, it's bad. And what's happening is like, well, not crazy, because the reason they're saying these things are because their teams are bad. But these teams that are like really, really bad, like they're piling on with the petty, because we just talked about the Giants. They're really, really bad. We're now talking about the Jets. They're really, really bad. And then there's a team in Florida. They're really, really bad. And their coach is being petty as well. So I don't know what's going on, what's in the water. Like you guys said, we're not even halfway through the season yet, but it's a little out of control. So sometimes I don't think these owners, CEOs, chairmen, whatever, need to be in front of a mic and talk. If it's not like the off-season meetings or something like that, like, let your coach handle it. Like, all of that wasn't necessary.
Wilson.
All right, so this is the owner, Mr. Woody Johnson, correct? This is your team. You got the final say in most. Like, this is your show, so obviously you're allowed to say whatever you want about the things that about the business that you own, right? So let's just throw something up, Mr. Johnson. Since you decided you wanted to take 10 years frustrations and horrible decisions out on Justin Fields, my brother in Christ, your team is 53-113 in the last 10 years. That is, sir, Justin Fields does not begin to make the list. Like the top 50 reasons, sir. Sir. You okay, just we can do let's do more recent, right? Let's wind it back to your last head coach. And that has nothing to do with Aaron Glenn because he's deserving of the job. I'm happy he got it. You threw Robert Saleh threw him in the trash, right? The man had your horrible franchise playing high level defense. You have more talent on your defense currently than he has on the team that he's coaching right now because their high level players are out for the year. They're better than you, dude. Jason Pinnock, who you drafted, who's in a 4-man safety rotation. That team's 5-2. It's you. It's you. Let's go back to the 2021 draft. So many people miss on quarterbacks. Sir, you had the second pick. You had the chance after, regardless of what Jacksonville did. You had the number 2 pick. That meant even if Jacksonville, we save that discussion with Trevor Lawrence another day. Whatever they did, that's their choice. But you were next up. That meant you could have chose anybody you wanted, right? This is what you did. You looked at all them people and you was like, I don't want Kyle Pitts. I don't want Jamar Chase. I don't want Jalen Waddle. I don't want Penei Sewell. I don't want J.C. Horn. I definitely don't want Pat Surtain II. I don't want Devontae Smith. I don't want Micah Parsons. I don't want Rashawn Slater. Sir.
That's what Wilson.
Got him a Sam Darnold guy.
Like I'm just saying, you could have had Micah Parsons on your team for the low and found you a quarterback. But this is what you do. You just get mad. So you know what I'm going to do? We about like a couple weeks from the deadline. Tell some of your former solid players I see them in a couple weeks in the Bay. We'll all of a sudden be good again because they left your franchise, dude. You over there wasting Quentin Williams' life away. You got Jermaine Johnson over there not doing. Bro, you damn near murdered Sauce Gardner. We don't even hear his name anymore. Patrick Surtain name still ringing loud. He really good at his job. Outstanding. One of the best in the league. Saleh left. I don't hear Sauce's name anymore. Jamie and Sherwood over there, don't hear his name anymore. Bro, y'all let go of Bryce Huff. This is what y'all do. You don't keep quality talent. You lead the league and just you're a losing franchise. You are a horrible franchise. And you're in charge. So I don't got time to be like to nitpick and be like, Justin Fields is the hill you chose. This is when you chose to speak up. Yeah, one of the best defensive minds in football. You was like, no, I'm cool. Then even a backhanded compliment to Aaron Glenn, like, well, I would love our quarterback to pass. I remember when nobody's quarterbacks could pass to get your defense. You didn't like that either. You went up to BYU and was like, damn, Zach Wilson made that really cool throw. He couldn't throw in the league either. You didn't say anything. That was like 3 years of Zach Wilson not completing any passes. You were quiet. But, you got it, man. Shout out to you. Like I said, I appreciate Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald. I see y'all in the Bay, man. Come get rescued.
Malik.
Yeah, you gotta leave this where it's at. Wilson said a lot of almost everything, and to include it in that fact, Sam Darnold got a place for the Seahawks now. Is now finding his piece, whether that had been from playing the limited snaps there the 49ers or going off with the Vikings. But he definitely was drafted by the Jets in 2018. Played there 2018, 2019, 2020, and he couldn't do anything. I don't remember the last time that New York made anything and kept it and made it nice. Like you said, the Sauce Gardner was the biggest thing they were going to have for the biggest thing they're going to have for the next 5 to 10. And his name, he's not going to get his bells and whistles are never going to be as high or as recognized as other players due to the fact that he plays for the Jets. Not because everybody plays against the same competition, but he plays for the Jets and they don't have a chance. So his yards, his stats are just they don't even matter. But yeah, you gotta leave it. The Jets don't win enough games, And when I'm saying the Jets, I'm not even saying the players. It's him. It's the people at this point. It's the people above. Because if it's a curse in New York, they need to do what the Redskins did and sell it. Commanders. Never got to be official. They need to sell it but some of these people are just stuck in their ways. The guy in Dallas, there's a lot of people that are just stuck in their ways, and they run a show, so they'll be their show. It will always be their show because they were able to make it that. But their show is never going to have a lot of fans. It's never going to be the things they want it to be. They can blame it on whoever they want to blame it on. Like Wilson said, Justin Fields has only been here for so much time. So he definitely, like Octavia said, he definitely looks non-workable NFL type in the Jets. Definitely suitable, manageable last year for the Steelers. Definitely a high talent, a high potential talent, but it's just the recipe, him, head coach plus owner, is just not working. And we can't say it's all Justin Fields' fault, but it's just the marriage. The marriage isn't working, but the marriage isn't more Justin Fields' fault than the other marriages they were already abided to in New York.
I saw that this morning.
He's a very privileged guy. For people that know his family is Johnson & Johnson, the powder, all that company, man. So he inherited he inherited a lot of money through his family and stuff. He also supports a certain type of people that I'm pretty sure all of us on this show can't stand right now. Now, a lot of our family members and friends can't stand political ties to some person that shows he's not a very good decision maker his damn self. So there's a reason why Wilson, he didn't draft all those players. It's not the fact he probably didn't recognize their talent. It's the fact that they're not the thing. How should I say this without? They're not the type of people he would want working for him. Let's just say that. They might talk back or be aggressive and make him uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm gonna leave it at that. And y'all can look up what I'm talking about. It's very obvious what I'm trying to say, but I'm not gonna get in detail. To throw your quarterback under the bus like that when he's struggling, just as an owner, especially when the only reason why you're close to a football field is because you're on the team. It's just despicable. Like, think about that. If I'm another player in the NFL, why in the hell would I want to come play for you outside of you just throwing buku money at me? Because I know you ain't shit. Like, I know you're not. So it's getting annoying, especially when you haven't done it. Like, yeah, we can complete a pass. What if Justin Fields said, well, draft me an offensive line so I can get time back there, man. I ain't running for my life, so I can deliver a pass. Give me some wide receivers. Give me a tight end. Help me out. Which you're not going to do. Which you haven't done. Like, at some point, if every quarterback, what you said, the last 10 years was that record over the last 10 years, you're on mute.
I think it was 53 and 119.
Over the last 10 years, all right, that record. That means a lot of quarterbacks have came and gone and have failed under your watch. It's unfortunate what Justin Fields has been going through and all that. He is far from the problem. Maybe the problem, it starts at the top, right?
Head of the snake. Mm-hmm.
That's what it starts at the top, right? Okay, cool. Nah, man, maybe the problem is you, the owner. Maybe you don't know what you're doing. Maybe it's a reason why you shouldn't really be heard or seen from. Maybe you should just cut checks and just do what else you do. Do whatever else and leave the football stuff to the football people. There's a reason why they're high and you're not. I mean,
that's just horrible.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, dog. I don't.
They haven't had a winning season since 2015.
Come on, man.
Did they make the playoffs?
Come on now. Like my daughter was a baby. Now she up here in gymnastics doing flips and shit on beams. Like it's a whole lifetime ago. But Justin Fields, yes, he needs to play better. But there's a lot of people on that team that need to play better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like that for a while. It's like if we can complete a pass, okay, fine. You can complete a pass. Now, can you stop somebody? Absolutely not. So you're still going to lose. Some of these people just think they're more important than what they are, bro. You know, it is what it is, man. Like, yeah, Justin Fields, hey, you should count your blessings. I'm getting guaranteed money, millions guaranteed. I ain't out here getting my head beat in. Yeah, please don't resign me. So I can go to a damn credible football organization that know what the hell they're doing, so I can try to get my career back on track. Like, this is a perfect example of all money ain't good money.
Yeah.
All money ain't good money. Man. I would have stayed with Mike Tomlin unless he just was like, yeah, we moving forward. I'd rather stay there as a backup than deal with this shit. You know, it's like position. All right, how many times has he been sacked this year? It's on 7. I know you get hit a lot. Pardon you, I just want to know.
19 through 7 games.
He played. He played Sunday.
Half of the game. He got knocked out. That's how I said they got in the game.
Yeah, that's what when he was scrambling.
Yeah, I might say 19, not even including the hurries and the knockdowns. That's just the amount of times that was official.
That's the time, like Malik said, that's just the times he got caught. He got caught 19 times.
Yeah, Woody. Have you been hit by a 320-pound lineman running like a 4'8", 4'7"? Like it hurts, man. It hurts. Like after a while, you lose hope, dog. You trying to survive, dog. Like come on, man. After your own teammate can run past you, you nervous because you just dog. It's easy to talk when you up in a nice little suite with a suit on, and you ain't probably never been touched in your life. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. It's just not cool, man. Especially when your team's struggling, man. You keep that stuff in house. Everybody in the world will see he's struggling. What does it benefit to just shit on him and throw him under the bus?
Man, I had to look up. I know it's not the same, but Cam Ward's been sacked 25 times.
No, y'all, people don't remember this. David Carr's older brother.
Oh, you mean Derek Carr?
Derek's older brother. David.
I mean, my bad. Yeah. No, the older brother, Carr. Bless his heart.
The one that's commentating that one.
The bless his heart, man.
Boy.
I've never seen nobody get sacked like that in my life, dog. They ruined that man's career. They really, dog. He was done. He didn't even get a chance to get off the ground. Like listen, man, let's be for real. Look, some players do it to themselves, yes. And this is across all sports. Some players that just can't get right, they don't want to work hard, they got issues. But to me, it's more responsibility on the organizations as to why young players don't succeed. Because you're not patient with them. You don't even have a conversation to see what they need. You just trying to fit a square in a round shape area. Like it doesn't work. Like you don't give him everything you need. Like also you just said it. He don't have any receivers. Offensive line trash. He's been sacked like a muff. Like what do you complete a pass? We lucky he's still standing upright.
Yeah, the type of offense, the system of the plays that they run, you can't be successful. Your big plays, your the explosive plays that they have can't be the explosive plays that win you your division, any championships or any real games. Because Justin Fields more than likely leads their team in rushing yards as well.
Yeah, because
and with the design runs they got in there, it's just like you can't. No NFL team plays the style of offense. They solely play a different style of offense than all the other 31 teams. Like when you look at it's
like dog. Even when he got hit, he was hurt. You saw it. He got his ass up and just jawed off like I'm sick of this shit. You could tell how he jawed. I'm sick of this shit. It was that body language. Like give me the damn. So Justin needs to take some blame, but so do you, owner, because you run everything. You assign everything. And this ineptitude has been going on for years. It didn't just start now. It ain't like y'all won the Super Bowl. It was close to last year. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
the last project was Aaron Rodgers. That was the last New York project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before that is we got Aaron Rodgers in there, Zach Wilson, Mark Sanchez in the mix, Sam Darnold.
Mike White played a little bit.
Just bottom line, and this is like this across all sorts. Maybe some of these businessmen that need to just tend to business and leave football alone, leave the sports alone, and things would be much better. And stay out the way. Just cut checks and stay out the way. There you have it, man. So we're gonna continue, man. One more, man. Where we are going to. Ooh. I gotta touch on this. This was an all-time great performance in sports history. In October '92, Deion Sanders had an iron grip on the sports world. That month, the Braves outfielder played 8 games in the National League Championship Series and World Series, while also playing 2 games at cornerback for the Falcons. This is to say Colorado football coach knows Major League Baseball playoff uniqueness when he sees it, and he sees in the Dodgers designated hitter and pitcher Shohei Ohtani to deliver one of the great sports feasts of this century, and forget this century ever. In Game 4 in the National League, NLCS Friday, he said, look, I've seen some wonderful things that have transpired in sports. It's hard for me to say it's the greatest performance ever in any sport, but that is unbelievable, Sanders said via Pat Graham on AP. He's doing something that's unfathomable. In Los Angeles' 5-1 win over the Brewers on Friday, Ohtani smashed 3 home runs while striking out 10 batters as a pitcher. Sanders, for his part, slashed 400, 455, and 500 with 1 run batted in the 92 playoffs while adding a reception and 5 decent kick returns on the gridiron that month. No matter, he finished the year as an All-Pro anyway. He said, quote, Deion Sanders said, can they just hand Ohtani the MVP during the game? That performance was just amazing what they did, what that dude did, man. Especially just pitching like that is exhausting. Then they hit 3 homers, man. Like Wilson, man, what are your thoughts on this, man? I know we don't touch on baseball a lot, but that's one of the ones.
I would just simply say on a lesser scale, one, it's amazing. It's an amazing feat. This is where, we're in a time where people like to throw all these superlatives out quickly and early and things like that. This is one of those guys when people are like, somebody's one of one. This is what one of one looks like. There's not something to compare it to. Ideally, it's one of those separate things. Jacksonville Jaguars, I truly apologize for this shot. This is what happens. I give the Dodgers credit. This is what happens. You let special people just be special. Don't try to figure stuff out. Don't try to micromanage them. Just because you can't fathom it, God ain't put you there to fathom. That's their business. That's between them and God, not you. Mind your business. The Dodgers is like, hey, man, we pay you a lot of money. Look like you can do both. How about we give you double the money for both of the things you can do? Oh, my God, look, we got an elite pitcher and an elite hitter. And what did he just do? Carry that team to a hell of a win. If you break them down into 2 separate players, everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe we got both of those guys. The Dodgers technically saving. They just paying one person. But this is what the one-of-one stuff looks like. This is why when people get to talking these days, like, for me, it's like old man yell at cloud. It's like, y'all just like grouping stuff. Some people aren't part of groups. Mind your business, leave it alone. We can all have favorites and preferences, and some people are different. It's okay. They're allowed to be different. This brother right here, different. Also, shout out to his man who took the hit for whatever, the other stuff, because he needed to be on here. But he's different, man. Different. In Jacksonville, you probably won't learn your lesson, but different. And Deion's another one of them one-on-ones that can speak to this. Which is why Jacksonville, y'all, I'm going to keep firing this shot until y'all figure this out. He was coached by a one-of-one to do the thing that was prepped to do it. Y'all out here being Jacksonville. But look at the Dodgers. They not blocking their blessings. They like, hey, man, can you get us out this game? Cool. We got days between games, but that is a hell of a performance. That is an all-time performance. And I hope people really understand when It's why you don't just crown people early with your preferences, all that other stuff. Let the performances dictate it. It's like the performance, you can't, we can't, if you take the performance out of it, you take the result, the performance out of it, then people have different, we can all see different things. We almost kind of all see what we want to see. We'll take away things that we want to take away. Things like this, that was a dominant performance. We all might have different ways to express it, but it's a dominant performance. Like that's an all-time performance. That's one of those things. It's going to be a Jeopardy question. Like those are those performances, man.
Yeah, it's
for a while. That's how. Like that's the kind of stuff. Like think about that. Baseball's been trying to find ways to like stay relevant with other big sports for quite a while. This dude, he's holding that.
Your mic on in and out, Wilson.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, he's doing a hell of a job. It's NFL season, NBA just starting, and we're talking about baseball because that performance was that amazing. It was truly that amazing. Shout out to him.
Facts, man. I love what you said. There are very few one-on-ones across sports. Like, and you know when you see it because they're dominating at a level that make everybody else look like mere mortals, and they're not mere mortals. They're exceptional in their own right, and it's just like it's different, man. League, man. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, this is one of the most historic performances beyond sport ever. Whether you break it down off of the 10 strikeouts and 1 home run, 10 strikeouts and 2 home runs, or if you just go break it and just leave it at 3 home runs in a game with 5, like however you milk it down, then we put it all together again. No matter the sport, no matter how many points scored, how many touchdowns that we've seen thus far, that's not a video game. This has never been, can't be an argument of who's had a better performance, because you can't argue and say by any chance that anyone's have had a better singular game performance than this guy. So he's playing ball with flying colors. Like Wilson said, the Dodgers know exactly what to do with him. They're not prepping for 2 guys, you're prepping for 1 guy. You bring in 1 guy with you, and 1 guy's getting it done. And he's getting it done. They paid him to get it done, and he's that guy that will get it done. Well, now, regarding Jacksonville, like Wilson said as well, they need to figure out how they can do that. Or if they don't do it, somebody will. Or somebody won't. But there's so much talent. There's so much talent in this world that, you just hope the right people, the right owners, the right leadership get with these players so that they can get these things done. Because, for example, right here, it's possible. The boxes, people create these boxes because they can't see themselves getting outside of them, but God made certain people to be outside those boxes.
Octavia.
Yeah, it's so bad because I watched them play the Phillies, and and to be honest, like if you want to say, because I think one thing that people try to put on Shohei is that he doesn't deliver in the postseason. That has been the knock or whatever that they have said about him. But I don't even know how you put it into words, the type of things that he can do. And then to me, it's just like, and his demeanor never changes. It's like he could be out there throwing heaters and he just be like, and then he go out there and just pop a home run, and he just trots around the bases, and just it's like it's second nature to him. Like you guys have already said, there are certain people that you don't, like you said, want to crown too early. He's one that has been crowned. These things that he's doing are just, to me, adding icing on the cake. Like we've already talked about, give him the MVP award again. And to think, like I know it wasn't all of their fault. I'm sure they tried to do everything that they possibly could. Like he played for the other team in Los Angeles, and they couldn't get it done with him. I know he had some injuries during that period of time, but for him to go to the Dodgers, for them to win the World Series last year, and they're poised to win it again this year. I think they start Friday night against the Toronto Blue Jays. It's going to be a series. And just the fact that he can go out there and pitch the way he does, like Cardell said, like pitching is, it seemed like, I feel like if you don't really watch baseball and you just see people pitching, like you just be like, oh, it don't look that hard. But like, in high school, my ex, he was a pitcher, and I used to see his, and that's on a very lower level when I'm comparing to Shohei. I used to see his whole shoulder just be red after games. Like that's just from pitching and throwing and pitching, the different types of pitches, the way you grip the ball, like, and for him to just do that, and like I said, he just runs around the bases, just the most unproblematic star you can have in one of the biggest markets that it is out there. I'm sure Nike and Jordan wish they had him, but unfortunately for him, I think it's Adidas. But yeah, he's amazing. I could watch him, and like you said, Wilson, we're deep in the middle of NBA starting, college basketball getting ready to start, college football, NFL. And we're talking about Shohei Ohtani and baseball. And I do think baseball has done a lot to make the game more enjoyable and make it more watchable. Because I haven't watched a lot of baseball in the last couple of years. But the last year or so, I find myself watching more baseball. The pitch clock has helped so much because it speeds up the game and it keeps it into a rhythm where you don't feel like you're just sitting there. Like before, I couldn't watch a baseball game unless I was there. Now I can actually watch a baseball game at home and really feel into it. And when you have a player like Shohei Ohtani, it's like you don't want to miss it. Like you see these people at the games, and like as soon as he walk out there, cameras is up. They like, is he gonna do something? He gonna do something amazing that I just need to record. And definitely agree that's gonna be a Jeopardy question one of these days. So hats off to him. He's a hell of a player, and he's only 31. So I expect to see this for many, 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 many more years to come.
I love greatness, man. I really do. Because it takes a tremendous amount of work to become great. For one, he's pitching right-handed and hitting left-handed. That's sick, dog. He like who the fuck developed you, dog? I gotta beat this man. Like he ain't even doing it with the same hand. It's like he playing with you. Like it looks like that. Like, dog, I'm gonna get you out with my right hand. I'm gonna bat left just to teach you a lesson. Like, you're not messing with me, dog. But he's going there on a big stage, and it's legit, man. I love greatness, man. I love it because you got to be really dedicated and focus on the craft to become that one-on-one dude, man. It ain't gonna just come, and it just doesn't come, man. And we grew up, we seen some of the one. Hell, my favorite baseball player all the time is Cal Ripken. Baltimore. I saw him play all the time. He got it done. Like we've seen special. We've seen Barry Sanders. We've seen Jerry. Michael Vick in college. Like Lord Jesus, and when him and Randy was doing in college, like we've seen some sick all-time athletes. It's like they are different because there's nothing else like them. But he's one-on-one, man. Like he's. And it's so cold, it's little kids looking at him that's going to try to develop the games to be another him. So down the line, you're going to see a whole bunch of guys like that, like, I got to pitch and do more. And that's what I love. It's like in basketball, it's no excuse not to be an all-around player. If you're dedicated to the game, want to work on your game. Like, if you work on your game, most kids just work on the offense. What about the other aspects, the reads, the defense, the rebounding and stuff like that? Like, what about all of that? Because when you are good at all of that, that's when you become special, and you move up levels and you eventually get to the highest, so you become a pro. But what he's doing is insane, man. Like it is, and like I'll tell you, brought up a good point. Just the mileage it puts on your body to do one of those things. Like you could throw your arm out. Just look how many pitchers throw their arm out, and that's the only thing they do is just throw pitches, and they throw their arm out and all that. He doing that, and then but it's cold. Like I say, he's hitting left-handed. So like, I'm gonna save my right arm, dog. Like that's for the pitching, baby. Let me get over here, get my left hand somewhere. Bop, 3 home runs. Let's get up out of here. Like that is, like it's cold. And like you said, the demeanor. All the great ones have that demeanor. They just don't look rattled. Like I can bring up Michael Jordan. You can bring up Usain Bolt. Hell, Usain Bolt was so confident he celebrated before he started running. He up there doing the lightning bolt pose before they even get on the blocks and stuff. Michael Phelps, same thing. Like you could just see they different, man. And it's always great to see the ones that's different, man, because you understand you only witness something. You're witnessing something that only comes around maybe once in a lifetime, and I think he's one of those type of players. So you got to embrace it while it's here, man. Because you look up, he came over here in his late 20s. He already like 31. So how much longer will he be able to sustain this before it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to make a decision for Father Time. So, man, yeah, man, like if he was a little bit younger, I'm like, oh man, that man gonna be the first $1 billion athlete. And he knocked on the door of $700 million. Now I think Wemby gonna be that. I think it's only man he stay healthy. I think he gonna be the first one. But he definitely would have been there, man, because what he's doing, or he might just be like, hey man, y'all gonna have to restructure my contract in a couple of years. They win a World Series and he still maintain this high level of play. It's gonna be sick where he pushes the game, and he's pushing the game. Because if I'm a little kid and I play baseball and I'm seeing what he's doing, just like we looked at Jordan and AI and all, I'm trying to be that. Steve Francis for me, I'm trying to be that. Kids are looking at him like I'm trying to be that, man, and it's gonna push the game forward. Because then you're gonna look up 20 years from now, and this gonna be the norm, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, he's remarkable. Like he even changed stuff on what's it called? Him getting over here, getting in the big leagues and doing his thing. I think he changed stuff on MLB The Show. Video game different because now that mode, like that little story mode, it's the Ohtani thing. You can do both. The two-way player thing is actually like an actual like thing people look forward to that almost makes them kind of brought that mode back to life because nobody cared about it. It's what it is. But Ohtani, again, just like you said, watching greatness is truly enjoyable. But we appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same place as always. If you have a Roku television device, Amazon Fire Stick, Amazon Fire TV, what have you, go into the App Store and add our channel. Just type in the Focus TV, double tap OK, and it makes it where you guys can't miss it. If you miss it live, you got several days to catch up. You can do a double feature next week, should you choose. Either way, we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all then. Don't forget to get over to thefocustv.com.